Mr. Mayor and Budget Chief and Budget Committee, members of Council, and of course the community. My name is Skylar Maharaj, and I'm an organizer with the Toronto and York Region Labour Council. So the Labour Council is a central labour body that represents 220,000 working people in every sector of the economy. And we're here today to represent their interests as workers and as members of the community. Toronto in 2023 is a place of sky-high real estate prices, rapidly rising inflation, a growing and diversifying population, and a growing wealth gap. We are 3 years from the start of the COVID pandemic and over 20 years from amalgamation, but we're 30 years into an era of austerity government. The choices our city government makes each year are not only a reflection of the context of our city, they actively shape our context for years to come. And for years, city budgets have been treated like a relay race with a stick of dynamite. Rush to the next marker and pass that baton before you get burned. Do nothing to put out the flame or prevent impending disaster. And this budget was always going to be about making tough choices. Unfortunately, we're getting higher taxes and fees for less service, especially on the TTC, crumbling infrastructure, minimal enhancements to the poverty reduction strategy, little attention to equity and anti-racism after marginalized communities bore the brunt of the COVID pandemic, prioritization of policing, a doubling of the state of good repair backlog, and a doubling down on the funding of the hybrid Gardner rebuild, low to no new commitments towards Transform TO goals, despite the massive fight ahead of us. So pay more, get less. When we talk about the affordability crisis in Toronto, it's not a theoretical exercise. You know the numbers. You also know that racialized people bear the brunt of bad socioeconomic and health outcomes. The choices you make can help or hurt. So the Labour Council is concerned about the way that city jobs are used as a tool to balance the budget. We heard last week that 10% of staff jobs are unfilled still. That is 4,000 positions, 10% job vacancy. That means 10% of the work of the city just isn't happening. It means a cut in service, maintenance, and program work. We're concerned about the proposed 9% reduction in TTC services. That reduction represents 457 transit operator jobs. It represents a rush hour crush and off-peak delay that will push riders away from public transit in a time when ridership levels must be recovered. We're concerned about creeping privatization and alternative financing schemes that are already damaging Toronto's commitment to being a good employer. We want working people and their families to continue to live, work, and play right here in Toronto. And as it turns out, Torontonians, for the most part, actually do share the vision of a city in service of its people. In October this past year, October 2022, Labour Council commissioned a poll of over 2,500 residents citywide. The results showed that Torontonians of all income levels want a more livable city now. And even if the wealthiest need to pay a little bit more, in fact, 73% of respondents in the highest income bracket agreed. We urge you to use more revenue tools, particularly progressive ones. We support, for instance, the proposed commercial parking levy and a luxury home tax, among others. There is social unity on the question of whether we can collectively pay more in order to invest in a livable city. We agree on the vision, a healthy, happy, and prosperous population. Our guiding principle is that what we want for ourselves, we want for others. And the way that we're going to achieve this is together, public services publicly delivered. Let's stop treating the budget like a stick of dynamite. Instead, view it as the tending of a perennial garden. The better we take care of Toronto, its hard infrastructure, its services, and ultimately its people, the better it will take care of us. Thanks for your work.
Thank you.